Yo, welcome to the Flex Zone. It's your man. It's your boy, it's your host. Your friendly reminder, Jay Henderson. And we're here with a new episode. I feel like it's been forever since I talked to y'all. But in all actuality, it was just last week. So I hope everything has been going okay with you guys. I hope God is continuously blessing you and opening doors and doing what he do, being God in your life. But I also hope that you, the person that's on the other end of this podcast, I hope that you are allowing your light to shine so that men may see your good works and be glorified by God in heaven. So the title that we're dealing with today is it's a bit personal. It's personal because it's all about you. We have this thing where we tend to allow our good hearts and our beautiful existence to be more beneficial to people than it is for us. And I think that's what God created us to do. But at the same time, sometimes you can miss out on your people, the people that's supposed to be a blessing to you when you get connected with the wrong people. So the title that we're dealing with today is Embrace. Embrace. When it comes to the word itself, it has two different meanings. One meaning is to hug or to show some type of affection to another person, another human being. And the other one is to accept or to support some type of belief or theory or something like that, to embrace. So the one that we'll be dealing with is I would like to deal with both of them. Let's do that. Let's deal with the both of them, because every now and again, we have to make sure that without a shadow of a doubt, that you are properly loved and that you are properly cared for. That comes with every now and again, you get to a point to where you need a hug. Every now and again, you need somebody to hold you. That's like one of the most important stress relievers. That's one of the most important things that it's essential to be held properly by the right person, by the right people, and to be embraced, to be accepted, to be supported, to be believed in. Our dreams, right? The things that we stand for. We have to make sure that without a shadow of a doubt, we are in the midst of the people that we belong in. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we know? Because our spirit assures us, it reassures us, it gives you that indication, that signal. Sometimes we ignore it. We have a bad thing about ignoring what our spirit is trying to alarm us of. Because you know why? Because you're not connected with your existence. You're not connected with your spirit. My brother Darion, he said something to me one time. We always have some really, really amazing conversation. My brother Darion said something to me one time. He said, your flesh and your spirit is like having two dogs in the backyard. And this is going to blow your mind because it blew my mind. He said that when the two dogs get to fighting, flesh always beats spirit because you feed flesh more than you feed spirit. And flesh is a whole lot more stronger. And it's so much more fierce than spirit because that's what you feed. That's what you nurture. That's what you give into, flesh. So when your spirit tries to signal you that you are in an improper place or somewhere you don't belong or around people that you shouldn't be around, you miss the signal or you ignore the signal because you're not connected with your spirit. So we're going to deal with the 5 steps that would help you on your journey to embracing who you are and the importance of your existence as it concerns this world. Because at the end of the day, you are here and you have a purpose. I don't care what your physical state is. I don't care what your mental state is. You are here. You have a purpose. So let's deal with number 1. Number 1 is letting go of people. Letting go of people is very, very important. That you might want to take notes on this. You might want to write this down. Number 1, letting go of people. Why? Because you love people. You love your family. You love your friends. You love your coworkers. You love people that you meet in life, which you are instructed to. You should love everybody. Generally, you should love everybody. But has different meanings as well. One is on the contrary. So it would separate anything I said before, but, and the only thing that matters is what I say after, but. I don't care how much you love people. I don't care how much you care about people. The moment you allow people to make you put yourself on the back burner, you yield the rights. Your life has a copyright. You yield the rights to your life to those people. It's almost like you become their slave. And validation is subjective. In order for you to fit into their circle, in order for you to be accepted by them, you have to do what they want you to do so they can validate you, right? So they can accept you. The only way they will accept you, they won't accept you being you. You have to be who they want you to be. You have to let go of people. Number one, you have to let go of people. You cannot be who you are, be beneficial to the people that you're supposed to be beneficial to without letting go of people that holds you hostage, spiritually and mentally hostage to their ideas of who you should be. Number 2, the second thing that you have to do on your journey is you have to be bold and you have to be fearless. Why? I know somebody's asking why bold and fearless. First of all, the Bible, I still believe in the Bible. I still believe in the God in the Bible. I won't get off into that. I still believe in the Bible. For the Bible says, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And you have to be bold. You have to stand on what you believe. You have to make a proclamation. You have to make a proclamation. Let's throw away these New Year's resolutions. Make a new day resolution. Every day you open your eyes. Every day you have another opportunity. Every day you get 24 hours. Every time you get 365 days, make a resolution. Every single day. You shouldn't evolve in years. Your life should be shifting and changing and learning daily. So when it comes to you being bold and fearless, sometimes you're going to have to say no, and you're going to have to stand on it. Sometimes you're going to have to say no, and you're going to have to stand on it. Ain't no turning back. Ain't no I'm sorry. No. No. And you got to stand on it. And you can't worry about what people think. It makes you weak. It makes you weak. It makes you subjective. Always worrying about what people think. Always concerned about how people feel about what you're doing. You're gonna make some mistakes in life just like people did. Nobody else's mistakes defines your mistakes. You got to be bold and you got to be fearless. And moving right along. Number 3 is very, very vital. It's very vital because if you don't understand number 3, number 1, 2, 4, and 5 is absolutely idiocy. It's non-effective. It's strength for dummies. If you don't understand number 3, you have to be able to identify with your strengths and your weaknesses. Remember a few minutes ago when I was telling you about the conversation between me and my brother, and we was talking about flesh and spirit. There are some areas of your existence that you are stronger in than others. I know that I am a very, very healthy eater. I'm very strong in that area of my life. I eat really, really well. Tasha makes sure of that. When it comes to what I believe, I'm really, really strong in that area of my life. It's hard for somebody to convince me otherwise, that what I believe is incorrect. You got to be able to prove, and the gists and the justice system is, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Because otherwise it could just be theory versus theory, or an opinion versus an opinion. You got to come to me with facts. That's one of my strengths. There are some areas in my life where I'm weak. I will not exploit them because you may try to play on them. So you have to be able to identify with your strengths and your weaknesses. That's very, very important that you are able to, and that you know, because sometimes, if we go back to number 2, sometimes we fear what we don't understand. Sometimes it baffles us. It puts us in a state of mind to where it slightly confuses us, right? You can be borderline confused, and that confusion will entertain fear. That confusion will hold a small conversation. It's just like it whisper in the ear of fear, and it heightens it. It heightens fear. Now you're scared to do this, and you're scared to do this, and then you start to make excuses as to why you shouldn't do it. You can't do that. You got to let go of people. You have to be bold and fearless. You have to be able to identify with your strengths and your weaknesses. And you have to. This is something that I had a really, really hard time getting over. I had the toughest time dealing with number 4. It was tough for me because I didn't know who I was. I couldn't let go of people. I I owed myself to people. If you wanted me to be a comedian, I was a comedian. If you wanted me to be, a shoe polisher, I'd find a way to dress up the idea of me being a shoe polisher. Whatever I believed, it went on the back burner because what you believed was more important. So when it comes to number 4, I always had a problem. I always had a problem with number 4. Number 4, you have to be able to accept the loss. Oh my gosh. You have to be able to accept that L. You won't have to take some L's in life. And until you are able to accept the fact that you lost, that there are areas of your life in the future where you're going to have to take some L's. The better you understand what taking an L is, the more prepared you are for it. So when it comes to taking an L, we have to accept the fact that we're going to run into people in our lives and we're going to deal with situations in our lives that we're going to succumb to. We're going to lose that battle. And sometimes, guess what? There are benefits. There are so many amazing benefits to taking an L. But the one that I love the most, the one benefit that I love the most about taking an L is you get an L. You get an L in return, not a W. You learn. So don't think just because somebody feel like they got the best of you or the situation seems to have gotten the best of you that you are a loser. No, you're a learner. What does that make you? A winner, right? So when it comes to accepting that, that's all wrapped up in embracing. Because sometime after taking an L, it's times that I come in the house from work after a long day and I'm drained, tired. My thought processes in a crazy place. Sometimes I just need a hug from Tasha. Sometimes I just lean on her and she hugged me and rubbed my back and stretched my back. And guess what? All inside of 20 seconds, that whole entire day meant nothing. When she asked me, well, how was your day? And I get a chance to say, it goes away. Bye. I'm ready for tomorrow. You have to embrace the fact that you're going to take some L's on this journey. And the one that's going to close us out, the one that's going to end the conversation, you have to be able to embrace who you are. You have to be able to embrace who you are to the point to where you accept the fact that you're going to have some crazy thoughts. I have been in church and had some of the most inappropriate, wild thoughts in church. And I would always be really, really hard on myself. Then I grew to the point to where I understand I'm a human. The thing is, we have to be able to control our spirit. We have to be able to be in a place spiritually to where we are in control. When you're able to connect with the spirit, that first of all, you have to have a pure spirit. You know where that comes from. That comes from the true and living God, the Spirit of God. We are God's afterthought. So your spirit, let's go back to me and Darion's conversation. You have to feed your spirit more than you feed your flesh. Because if you don't, it don't matter if you in church. It don't matter if you sitting with the Pope. You will not be able to control your thoughts. So you have to embrace who you are. You have to embrace the good, the bad, the ugly. You have to embrace the fact that there are some things that scare you. And then you have to figure out a way to turn that fear into courage. You have to accept the fact that you're going to take some L's in life. You have to accept the fact that even though you love them, you got to let them go. You have to accept the fact that sometimes you can be a bit weird. Sometimes you can be a little strange. Sometimes you can be a little disconnected. Sometimes I just don't want to talk. Sometimes I don't want company. It don't mean that I hate you. It don't mean that I don't like you. I just don't feel like being bothered. You have to embrace the fact that you are who you are, and you will not subject yourself to the thoughts of and ideas of anybody around you. You will not be a slave to anybody's thoughts of what you should be or who you should be. You have to embrace who you are, most importantly, because God created you in his image and in his likeness. And guess what? God knows you ain't perfect. God knows you're not perfect. You have to embrace that. You have to embrace that because your existence matters to somebody that's dependent. There are people assigned to you. And if you are tied to the wrong people, you'll never get a chance to complete your assignment. How do you go to the next level in school? How do you complete college? You have assignments. Everything is based on assignments. So, the 5 things. 5. You gotta let go of people. You gotta let them go. You gotta be bold. And you gotta be fearless. You gotta be able to identify with your strengths and with your weaknesses. You have to. It's very important. You got to accept the fact that you're going to take some L's. But in the midst of taking them, you're getting some. You're learning. You're getting some lessons. And number 5, most importantly, do not sleep on yourself because of what other people think about you. Embrace who you are. Love who you are. So when it comes to what you will and won't take in your life, what you will and won't accept in your life, you can stand on it boldly with no fear, no worries, and no concerns. No letting people convince you that this is not you. This is who I am. This is who I am. God created 2 people and brought them together. And they created my grandparents. And my grandparents created my parents. And my parents created me. This is who I am. Love it or hate it. Embrace. Love yourself. Talk to yourself sometime. It's healthy. It's healthy. Hug yourself. Tell yourself how beautiful you are. Mary J. Blige wrote a song trending all over the world. She wake up in the morning and she tell herself, "Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, handsome. Good morning, good looking. I am who God says I am. I am who God created me to be. I don't care if I weigh 400 pounds or 120 pounds. I am who God says." Maybe don't, before you talk about me, before you put my name in a conversation, put it in a prayer. Let's normalize that. Put it in a prayer. Pray for me. If you know something that can help me, tell me. I appreciate y'all listening. I appreciate y'all being in the Flex Zone. We got some amazing stuff coming. We got some great interviews coming from some amazing and influential people. I want to say to my city, to my hometown, I love you. Tallulah, I love you. Vicksburg, Lake Providence, Monroe, Turkey, Bangladesh, India, Philadelphia, New York, I love you. Texas, I love you. Shreveport, I love you. United Kingdom, I love you. Saudi Arabia, I love you. Turkey, Syria, I love you. Ukraine, I love you. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all from my heart. I know I forgot some. Kingston, Jamaica, I love you. All of y'all, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you listening. You can listen to us on Pandora, Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. Shout out to Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Deezer, and so many, almost every streaming platform, Castbox. You can listen to these podcasts on so many different platforms. I'm so grateful for the people around me, for my sister, Toya, for Brandy, all of my family members, the people that's active in this podcast, and Tasha, for some of the amazing ideas that she shared with me. That's my team, for my people in general that support. I appreciate you. And I just want to say that I love y'all. I love y'all. I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. So I appreciate y'all, and I hope that y'all have a blessed day. Thank you, Riverside FM, and God bless y'all.
Powered by Riverside FM.